Hello everybody, my name is Davis and welcome back to another severe weather live stream. Right now we have a strong thunderstorm outbreak actually occurring in the upper Midwest today. Areas like Wisconsin and Michigan are getting some storms right now that are producing gusty winds and small hail. Some of them are in pretty populated areas, right? We've got this one to the north of Merrill, Wisconsin, that is currently doing 40-mile-per-hour damage and wind gusts and pea-sized hail. We've got this one near Amberg and Athelstine over Highway 141 that is doing 40-mile-per-hour winds and half-inch hail. We got this one close to Oconto and Oconto Falls that's doing 40-mile-per-hour winds and pea-sized hail. And then we've also got this one near Algona that is currently doing 40-mile-per-hour winds and pea-sized hail. And that's not even all. We take it over to Michigan. We've got one that is close to the Roscommon area, close to Interstate 75, that's doing 40-mile-per-hour winds and penny-sized hail, all right? So we've got some strong to severe thunderstorms out there today in the Midwest, but that's not all. Later tonight, we are going to be looking at a isolated but potentially potent severe weather outbreak occurring down here in parts of Texas and Oklahoma. We do have a slight risk of severe weather today for that reason. That does include Vernon, Paducah, all the way down towards Abilene there in Texas. Abilene, only half of the city is included in it. The north side of the city is included in it, but the south side is not. But I feel like the entire city might as well just be included in it at that point. It's so close on the border there. We do have a couple of storms that are getting strong to severe. This one near La Mesa, Texas is currently doing 50 to 55 mile per hour damage and wind gusts and pea-sized hail. And then this one down here that is close to the Highway 285 area there is doing 50 mile per hour winds and nickel-sized hail, and also has a flash flood warning associated with it. So if you're here in between Highways 285 and 385 in that approximate area, you are under a flash flood warning. So stay alive and don't drive, all right? We do have storm chasers out there today. Our storm chaser squad for today is, I think right now we just have Corey Gherkin that's currently live, but I believe later on we may or may not have Vince Welty and Brandon Kopic coming on. I'm not sure about that, though, okay? Now, luckily, we do have a cyclone port here in German, Texas, close to our marginal risk there, south of Wichita Falls, but unfortunately it does not have a live cam associated with it recently, and I'm not sure why that is. We do have a couple of cams here in our marginal risk up in the Midwest, so we're going to go ahead and bring some of those up. We'll go ahead and bring up this one here from Kalamazoo, Michigan. That's a live look at right there. And then we've also got a live look here at south central Wisconsin near the town of Brooklyn, where we've also got a decently strong storm that is going through that general vicinity there. And then we'll go ahead and bring up one more. We'll bring up the southeast Michigan cam there close to the Detroit area. You can see it's very windy out there today, all right? Currently, that cyclone port is receiving gusts close to 30 miles per hour. So flying objects, if you have any loose lawn items, they may go flying out there today. But it's not going to be too big of a deal in terms of like any damage threat, obviously. Maybe a few tree limbs down, but nothing major, right? So the thing is, in this severe weather risk up here in the Midwest today, we also have a freeze watch associated with it, all right? We've got some, pretty decent severe weather settings up here, all right? It's a little bit on the chillier side, all right? We got temps here in the 50s and 60s across Michigan and Wisconsin. But we take a look, and there are freeze watches up because tonight in those same areas, it is going to get down to 25 degrees potentially in a couple of isolated locations, okay? So it's going to be a chilly one out there tonight, which is why we have a freeze watch in effect. So make sure that you are protecting sensitive vegetation out there. That does include portions of Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, all the way into like New Jersey, Massachusetts. Like Connecticut, all the way back into Massachusetts here is included in that, close to the Brockton area, okay? So again, that is a freeze watch in effect. Right now, though, obviously, our most concerning thing is the strong to severe thunderstorms. I do believe, have a mesoscale discussion in effect for the storms down in the Texas region, if I am correct. Yes, so we actually have a few mesoscale discussions. Wow. So we've got 3 mesoscales. So we're going to kind of run through them all. I'll go ahead and screencast my view here of these mesoscales. So this one is probably the most concerning, all right? This is going to be our big, this is the severe weather event that's likely going to make headlines for today. Well, not make headlines, but in terms of the weather industry, it's going to make headlines today, all right? So we see a supercell or two should develop with a threat for large hail and localized severe gusts. Sweetwater, Abilene, Haskell, Aspermont, Guthrie, you guys are most likely going to be under a severe thunderstorm watch between now and 4:15 p.m. Central Time. It's about 45 minutes. Alright, so expect that. There's an 80% chance of a severe thunderstorm watch being issued with that. Our storms up in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Illinois here, alright? We do have a pretty large area included in that. Thunderstorm coverage will gradually increase through the late afternoon. Small hail and damaging winds will be possible. Watch issuance, however, is not expected, alright? There's a 5% chance of a severe thunderstorm / tornado watch being issued. Very low chance overall, alright? So finally, we do have this one down here in southwest Texas for some isolated cells out here close to the Fort Stockton area, Sanderson, and Alpine that are producing locally strong gusts and small hail possible through late afternoon. That is in effect till 4:30 p.m. Central, but again, that's only a 5% chance of a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch being issued, so very low. The only watch I'm actually expecting to get issued is this one here, the one that we have in effect on northwest Texas here. Again, this includes Sweetwater, Abilene, Snyder, Aspermont, Guthrie, and Haskell in Texas. So there's not really too much of a tornado threat today. If we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center, there's no real tornado risk that is highlighted for today. We don't even have a marginal risk of tornadoes anywhere, right? But that does not mean this event could not be significant because we do have a damaging wind threat in effect, all right? We have a 15% chance of seeing damaging wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher within 25 miles of any given point in this region. Now, what that means is that we have a 15% chance to see wind gusts of 60 miles per hour in Paducah, Vernon, Abilene. All those locations have a 15% chance of seeing damaging wind gusts today, okay? So make sure that you are hatching down your trampolines and make sure that you do have a storm shelter action plan in place in case things do get too intense out there today. In addition to that, the hail threat is definitely there as well, all right? We have a hatched risk for hail, all right? So if you're in that yellow area there, that's a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger. That does include Vernon, Abilene, and Paducah once again there. But if you're in the little black line circle there, that's a 15% chance to see hail of 2 inches or larger. Or sorry, a 15% chance to see hail of 1 inch or larger, and at least a 10% chance to see hail of 2 inches or larger. So that is in effect for the north side of Abilene. Northeast of Sweetwater, we've got Paducah included in that. Alright, Vernon is not included in that. You're just in the normal slight risk of severe weather, or slight risk of hail, I should say. So it's definitely going to be a damaging wind and large hail threat today, and then also, as we do have that flash flood warning in effect, maybe some isolated flooding occurs in some spots that do get some heavier rainfall totals. In fact, if we turn on the excessive rainfall outlook for today, we don't have anything, apparently. So that kind of defeats what I was going to say. I had not looked. I probably should have looked at what it actually was before I turned it on. But apparently we don't have anything today. But we do have apparently a cell that is producing flash flooding down here along the Highway 285 area. So stay alive, don't drive. Again, that's in between Fort Stockton and Sanderson. Sorry, big breath there. Avoid driving in that region if at all possible. Because that is enough water to, sweep away your car even. So you got to be very careful there. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the stream here, so if anybody does have any questions at all about their location, make sure to leave those down below. I will be trying to answer your questions accurately and honestly, because this is a very large event for today, alright? We're going to be talking about Michigan and, Texas in the same exact day, alright? Obviously, our main event is going to be the Texas area here, and those little supercells are starting to fire off, so I imagine pretty soon we are going to get that severe thunderstorm watch in effect here for this area. Again, that's probably going to include Abilene, Sweetwater, and maybe as far northeast as Haskell, Texas here. So look out for that. It's going to be a very small watch if it does get issued, but still a severe thunderstorm watch nonetheless, and it could still bring some potent severe weather. But again, the only thing about it is that it's going to be really isolated, all right? There's only about 15 to 20 counties that even have a sliver of their county in this slight risk here. It's not large, but it could be potent in a couple of spots, all right? So anyway, let's get back to our ongoing weather here that we do have. Again, these storms in Michigan, they are going to be capable of producing localized damaging winds and small hail, but they're nothing too intense, right? They're nothing too crazy. I don't believe, if I am correct, I don't believe that we have any severe thunderstorm warnings yet today. I don't believe that we've had any at all. Sorry, I am incorrect. We did have one today. We did have one that was up in the UP of Michigan, actually. Bet you guys don't get severe thunderstorm warnings too much up there. That was just for the threat of quarter-sized hail, and that was quickly removed. So, nothing too crazy there. But, I mean, it is interesting, though, to see, the upper UP of Michigan getting severe thunderstorm warnings, like the northern part, right along Lake Superior there, especially in April. You know, normally they're still dealing with freezing temperatures from time to time this time of year. We did actually have a couple of cells that did produce damaging winds and large hail yesterday across parts of Montana and Nebraska. And then also just a little bit of action in South Dakota. Wasn't too crazy there, though. But yeah, I just thought that would be interesting to note. So the thing about this area here, unfortunately, much of this slight risk that we do have today is in a radar hole. Now, if you don't know what a radar hole is, it's basically an area that is in between where all the radar sites can reach, right? So we have this radar site here in southwest Oklahoma. We got this one close to Abilene, Texas. We've got this one close to Lubbock, Texas. And this one all the way up here in Amarillo. But in between all those areas where there is no good radar coverage, we have what is called a radar hole. So pretty much this area here, you guys don't get great radar coverage, unfortunately. So we're going to be looking at quite a bit of cells today where we're not going to be able to get a great look at them, unfortunately, all right? It's not going to be amazing, but hello, Best Lily Cakes. But we should have... No, you're not late. You're good. We only started about 10 minutes ago. But yeah, we should still have some strong to severe storms up there that will get warned today. Again, tornado threat is very low. Let's actually take a look at what NATOcast is highlighting for the tornado threats for today. It's basically an AI version of the SPC's tornado risk. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that is painting for today's event. And okay, so it is looking like they do currently have portions of North Texas under a 1% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point, and then also portions of northwest Indiana, northeast Illinois, and southwest Michigan under a 1% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point. So again, tornado threat is very low today. No, there are not any tornadoes. I was going to say there's not any tornadoes yet, but or I was going to say yet, but I don't believe there's going to be any tornadoes at all today. It's a very low threat. But with that being said, damaging winds and large hail are still going to be possible, and in fact, I would even say likely here across portions of northwest Texas. We could have a couple of storms that produce hail up to the size of baseball size. As the National Weather Service up here in the lower Texas Panhandle, the Lubbock area said, I do believe. I believe it was their words, baseball-sized hail. I know one of the National Weather Services was saying that. I don't remember which one. And there we go. We do have Vince Welty out there. He is probably not chasing today, though, if I had to guess. He probably would have headed down here way earlier if he was going to chase today. I think what he's actually doing is getting how's Fort Wayne looking today? Fort Wayne is not in any sort of severe weather threat. I will say you are still getting quite a bit of rain in the Fort Wayne area, all right? There's quite a bit. And you're also under that freeze watch, all right? So make sure that you are protecting sensitive vegetation, because tonight we could have some spots in the Fort Wayne area that get down to 30 degrees. So, again, make sure that you're protecting sensitive vegetation. Bring those all indoors. And you may have to scrape some frost off of your windshields in the morning. It'll also be one of those mornings where most likely you can kind of see your breath. You know, whenever it's so cold that you can see your breath. Well, it's probably going to be one of those situations. Not because it's going to be extremely cold. That's not how that works. It happens whenever it's really warm and then all of a sudden it gets really cold. Because out there today, the Fort Wayne area is not too bad. It's pretty nice out there other than the rain, obviously. The temperature isn't terrible. But tonight it is going to get pretty low. But yeah, overall Fort Wayne's okay. Not in any sort of severe weather risk. I will say, I do believe Fort Wayne, though, is included in one of these upcoming risks. Let's check it out here. No, you're not, actually. That was my mistake. You are not included in any upcoming severe weather risk. I do think that on the 29th, that would be next Tuesday, I believe, you are going to have a minor severe weather threat. It's not going to be anything too crazy, but I would look out for that. Again, next Tuesday, I do believe that is. But yeah, overall today, Fort Wayne is good. So anyway, I'm going to actually go ahead and take a look here. Let's go and take a look at what the NAM 3KM is painting for this severe weather event. Kind of like doing that right before the event happens just to kind of get a picture of what we're expecting right now. So right now, all right, this, hold on. Okay, this is where we're at right now, all right? The NAM was painting some supercells starting to pop off by now, and that's pretty much exactly what's happened. In fact, this one's almost in the exact same spot that the NAM did predict. Now, we go into 5 p.m. Those storms do start to intensify just a little bit there, right? Areas like Spur, Dickens, you're going to be under the gun for some damaging winds and large hail. 6 p.m., that's going to continue here in between areas like Jayton, all right? You're going to be under this gun for severe weather. Guthrie, all right? And then by 7 p.m., that's still going on even. Areas like Rotan, Hamlin, look out for that. And then by 8 p.m., those are going to move into the Sweetwater area. 9 p.m., those get closer to Abilene, especially on the west side of the Abilene metro there. Then by 10 p.m., they take a significant dip and kind of die out there by the time they get to the Tuscola area. But an isolated storm producing gusty winds or small hail may still be possible. So again, right now, the NAM is actually painting that not a lot of activity actually makes it over to the Wichita Falls, Verdon area, which are still under a risk of severe weather from the SPC. So we'll kind of have to see whether the NAM is going to be correct or if the SPC is going to be correct, because right now, they're not painting a lot of moisture for this area here. You'll have storms off in the distance, but not in that little region. Let's go ahead and see if we can get some another opinion here. This is what the HRRR is predicting, all right? So this is right now, all right? They were painting that we'd have some cells popping off in this area here, and they were correct, all right? They didn't get the exact same area like the NAM did, but that's not, something that usually happens anyway. The NAM just did a really good job there. By 5 p.m., they had these moving into Spur once again. 6 p.m., rolling into the Jayton area. 7 p.m. Hamlin. These are going to be right over you, kind of at their peak intensity. 8 p.m. Hawley. Look out for that. 9 p.m. they're going to be moving into the Abilene area. And then by 10 p.m. they kind of die out just like the NAM was painting, but maybe still a couple of cells that could be strong to severe out there. So, and we just got that severe thunderstorm watch in effect. So let's go ahead and break that down really quickly, all right? We do have a new severe thunderstorm watch in effect. Again, if you're just now tuning in, this is a new severe thunderstorm watch. This does include Abilene, Sweetwater in Texas. Let's go ahead and pull up the details on this severe thunderstorm watch. I'll go ahead and pull that up on your screen here. This was just issued 1 minute ago, all right? So right now, what this is painting is scattered hail up to tennis ball size in effect. Again, if you're just now tuning in, this is a new severe thunderstorm. Scattered hail up to tennis ball size possible, scattered gusts up to 70 miles per hour possible, and frequent lightning possible. So that hail threat would honestly be the thing that I'm most concerned about. Tennis ball sized hail, scattered tennis ball sized hail even, alright? This does include areas like Post, Sweetwater, Abilene, Stanford, Haskell, Breckenridge, and Graham in northwestern Texas here. There are currently about 250,000 people under a severe thunderstorm watch, all right? What that means is that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms to form. That does not mean they've already formed, but it is very likely that they will somewhere in that area, all right? Now, luckily, this is not a very populated region. The biggest city that we have in this is Abilene, and even Abilene's not that massive. But there are still, again, 250,000 people included in this. So if you are included in this severe thunderstorm watch, make sure that you do have a severe weather action plan in place and prepare to take cover if necessary here, all right? This is going to be in effect until 10 p.m. whenever a lot of the models were painting. These would die off, all right? So anyway, that is your new severe thunderstorm watch. So again, a severe thunderstorm watch has now been issued for the area here that we're going to be watching in northwestern Texas. So again, make sure that you do have a severe weather action plan in place and that you know where you're going to go if you need to take shelter. And in fact, we do have a couple of storms that are not warned for anything yet, but they may be doing some gusty winds and small hail getting close to the red mud area, but it looks like they're moving southward, perhaps. They're kind of, wow, that actually just formed there, so we don't really know. Is that real, or is that a radar contamination thing? I guess that's real. Looks like it may be heading off to the east here. We got Corey Gherkin on that storm right now. Looks like our Michigan cam has died, so we're going to get rid of that there. Actually, sometimes we just have to refresh it, so let's actually bring that back up and see if that fixes it. Yep, it did. Nice. So again, that's a live look at Southwest Michigan, and then we've also got Southeast Michigan there on the top, and then Brooklyn, Wisconsin at the bottom. Again, I would like to bring up our German Texas one, but for some reason it doesn't have a cam associated with it anymore, and it hasn't for the past few days. So, I don't know if they just got rid of it or what, but maybe it just needs repaired. We'll also go ahead and bring up Norman, Oklahoma. It's not under any major severe weather risk, but, you know, the more webcams, the merrier. The more, the merrier. Alright, so again, we do not have any severe storms at the minute, but we do have quite a few storms on the stronger side, especially up here in not only the upper Midwest, but also our area there in northwest Texas. Because, yes, again, we are talking about Texas and the upper Midwest in the same exact day. And everywhere in between those two areas, for the most part, it's just going to be your typical rain and garden variety storm activity. If we take a look at some of the radar sites in the middle of this here, we see that we do have a couple of storms that may be producing damaging wind gusts, or, you know, gusty winds, not damaging winds. But overall, it's nothing too crazy if you're in between those two risks, just your typical rain and thunderstorm activity there. I'm actually getting in on some pretty good rain right now in my neck of the woods. No storms in my region, but got some rain falling. Again, this storm has very rapidly popped up here to the southwest of Spur, Texas. And wow. That may actually be heading towards the Spur area. It's hard to kind of tell. It's not really moving that much at all, which was one of the things that made me think, is this real or is this just a radar glitch? Or it could even be smoke, but hey, there's no real fire danger out there today. If you take a look, you can kind of see the dry line that we have today through radar. That little band of what looks to be rain there is actually just our dry line. And places east of the dry line is where we're concerned about today. I don't know why. That was a really bad circling job. Alright. So, while we wait for things to really start to pop off here, let's go ahead and take a look at some more model guidance here. Let's take a look at... Let's do the NAM 12KM. So we took a look at the NAM 3KM. The NAM 12KM, alright, right now, this is what it was painting for right now. Not too much. You see, it was painting a little storm there northeast of Lubbock, but that never came to tuition. But it was saying at about 5 p.m. those storms came into the Crosbyton area. 6 p.m. they were kind of riding Highway 82 there towards Dickens. 7 p.m. kind of continues to dive southeast here towards Aspermont. 8 p.m. kind of goes through the rural Haskell area, and then 9 p.m. it goes through the Robbie region. 10 p.m. where a lot of the other models were painting them kind of dying out and closer to the Abilene region. This one is keeping it closer to the Noodle area. And still pretty intense. And then by 11 p.m. it's paying it rolls into Abilene and kind of dies out. Again, I'm not expecting too much of the northeastern portion of this risk to see any severe weather. I think this is mainly going to be limited to pretty much exactly where we have our severe thunderstorm watch. It's a little interesting that the slight risk was even extended this far out. Well, I kind of circled the marginal risk there, but you know what I mean. So again, the main areas we're going to be concerned about today are areas that are along Highway 82, Highway 83, that whole area. We're talking about areas like Haskell, Spur. I'd say if you're within a 50-mile radius of Haskell, Texas, you are going to have a threat of severe weather today. That's not exact, obviously, but that's kind of my estimated circle there. 50 to 75 miles within Haskell, Texas, you are going to have some sort of severe weather threat today. Whether that be a large one, I don't know yet, but we can't really talk about it, how bad it's going to be until it actually is happening. So, anyway, again, that is now a severe thunderstorm watch. We've got Corey Gherkin on our storm that is popping off close to the Spur area there. I'm actually going to go ahead and use the restroom really quickly. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and throw a big old BRB on the screen. And as that big old BRB says, I will be right back. So give me just a minute here. Alright, everybody, I am back. Looks like not much happened while I was gone, just judging by the fact that we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings yet. This storm has continued to intensify, though, close to the Spur, Texas area. I am certain that this is a storm. So, if I was in this region here, kind of on the border of these 4 counties, I don't know what counties these are, obviously, but if I was on the border of these 4 counties, I would look out for this little cell here. I would go ahead and get indoors, because gusty winds and large hail will be possible with that storm there, for sure, I would say. Do still have a winter weather advisory out here in Alaska. This is actually, this is the border here that separates Alaska and Russia, I'm pretty sure. Those little islands. But anyway, just a little geography lesson there. We do have a winter weather advisory here, actually, for this little island west of Alaska for 50-mile-per-hour gusty winds and up to 2 inches of snow, which normally I wouldn't even talk about at all, but now that we're getting into late April, these snow events are becoming more and more rare. At least snow events to that magnitude. It's not going to be anything like a major winter storm or anything. It's nothing that Alaska hasn't seen before, I'm sure, but again, there's your storm. It is not producing lightning. That's one of the ways that you can confirm that this is a storm. I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, but in case you were still not convinced and thought this was just a radar glitch, it is now producing lightning, and again, possibly some gusty winds and small hail as it gets close to Spur, Texas here. It's looking like it is moving off to the southeast, though, if anything. It's kind of stationary, though. So we're going to be talking about areas like Jayton being in the track of this, possibly. It might go south of Jayton, but it's hard to tell at this point since that cell is still just now developing. Yeah, we still have our storms closer to the Fort Stockton-Sanderson area. This area has a marginal risk of severe weather today. I believe it was at the 1630Z update that it earned its own marginal risk, but that literally only includes like 5 counties or so. That does include Fort Stockton and Sanderson, though. They're in southwest Texas, so look out for that. Severe weather is possible. I don't think it's likely, though. Again, there's only a 5% chance of a severe thunderstorm/tornado watch being issued in that area between now and 4:30, I do believe. And that has not happened yet, and it's probably not going to. So, you're in the clear other than some flash flooding threat down there. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just drawing random lines. The cell is just to the south of Red Mud in Texas. It looks like this is just a few houses out here, though, so probably literally nobody knows where that is, but this is, again, to the south of Red Mud, Texas at this point. And there we go. That is now severe warned. That is our first severe warning of the stream. So that is now a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Gilpin, Girard, in Texas here, and also Red Mud is included in that. So if you are included in this warning, make sure that you are getting indoors here. Again, this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is the first one of the stream. So again, make sure that you are respecting the polygon and getting indoors if you are included in that. I'm going to go ahead and play this. Oh, shoot. I'm going to go ahead and play the sound on this one just in case anybody has this on the background and they might need to know about this.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Again, that's a new severe thunderstorm warning now. In portions of northwest Texas, just to the south of Spur. Spur is not included in this, but areas to the south of you are included in this severe thunderstorm warning. This is does include a sliver of Highway 380 there, Highway 208. So again, if you are included in this warning, make sure that you are getting indoors, because this is definitely producing some large hail and damaging winds. And I mean, it popped off so quickly there. Really, the only reason we'll be looking at the velocities today is to check the damaging wind action, because again, rotation and tornadic activity is not expected with these storms. So again, severe thunderstorm warning now in effect. Just to the south of Spur in Texas, this little supercell has kind of just popped off all of a sudden. This is going to be for Kent, Garza, and Dickens counties in Texas. More specifically, northern Kent County, southwestern Dickens County, and northeastern Garza County. And now that has an even more impressive hail core. It would not surprise me if this is doing $half, maybe even ping pong ball sized hail there in a couple of spots. Again, this is a really rural area, so we're probably not going to know. But again, that is a pretty large supercell there. So again, make sure that you are getting indoors if you are included in this warning and away from windows, because this is some large to very large hail occurring with this supercell. Again, it's only warned for 1 inch in diameter hail, but even since that warning has gotten issued, which was just a couple minutes ago, the hail core has grown even more, and it's grown exponentially here over the last couple of scans. Again, Storm Chaser Corey Gherkin is on that storm right now, so hopefully if he does see anything, he will kind of report that in the National Weather Service. I don't know, though, because he has to drive, obviously, and chase, so at least he'll give people a view of this storm in case, a lot of people aren't convinced just by looking at radar that it's a big storm. He'll give us a live view. It is producing much more lightning now, too. Much more consistent with the lightning activity. Before it was just like one strike, like 10 minutes ago, and now it's picked up a lot. There's been at least 6 strikes with this storm as of 2 minutes ago. Actually 7 strikes now. 8 strikes now. Wow. 9. Sorry, jeez. They're just popping off. I guess they don't pop up at the next radar update. They just pop up when they are confirmed to have happened. Well, not even confirmed, just whenever the radar thinks that they happened. Or not the radar, but you know what I mean. I'm just going to stop talking now. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm that is currently impacting portions of northwest Texas. This does include Red Mud, Gilpin, and Girard in Texas, as well as Claremont. Red Mud is just a few houses. It looks like Gilpin's kind of the same thing there. Girard's an actual little itty-bitty town out there. Probably has a population of 100 or so, if I had to guess. And then Claremont is a decent-sized town, possibly a few hundred people there. So let's actually take a look at the population included in this warning box right now. Only 125 people in this entire warning box. Wow. Okay, so not even as populated as I thought. There are only 125 people that are included in this warning, and this is a pretty large area, so that's kind of surprising. This county has, like, nothing in it, I mean, except for Jayton. But Jayton can only be, 1,000 people. Alright, anyway. New radar scan still showing that large to very large hail falling to the south of Red Mud, Texas. This storm is moving off to the southeast at 10 miles per hour. Again, it's nearly stationary, but we can kind of drag this out and kind of talk about when it's going to get to people and, where it's actually going to hit. It's moving southeast. It would be approximately there. Whoops. Dang it. Southeast. There. I don't even know why I'm bothering to drag it that far out, because it's not going to survive for that long. Anyway, 10 miles per hour. Alright, when is this storm going to hit you if you're on the path of this? Well, Jayton, you've got about 111 minutes till this hits you. Rotan, 234 minutes. Aspermont, you've got about 240 minutes. Hamlin, 312 minutes. And McCauley's coming in at about 319 minutes. Let's find Abilene on here. Abilene's at about 530 minutes, so you've still got, almost 9 hours until this hits you. Which it may not even survive that long. But if it does, that will possibly create a nocturnal threat for you guys down there in Abilene. So, we'll have to watch out for that. But, this storm will likely speed up its pace pretty soon. It's already moving more noticeably quick now. So, it may not be moving 10 miles per hour forever, so it may get there a bit quicker than that. But still, you got a few hours, Abilene. And again, the storm may die out even before it gets there. We have another special weather statement now south of Fort Stockton. That's for 50 to 55 mile per hour winds and nickel-sized hail in this storm. If either of those threats get any higher, this will be a severe thunderstorm warning. This does include the Highway 285 and Highway 385 corridors. 285 is a major highway there, so look out for that in that region. Make sure that you are getting indoors. And preferably away from windows in the middle of your house. Our storms in the Midwest are kind of dying out, not too impressive anymore. Probably going to be done with those relatively soon, and it's going to be down to just a cluster of rain. Again, some of these storms down here in southern Illinois may be lightning producers, but nothing crazy, honestly. Maybe some isolated pockets of heavy rain. I'm actually pretty close to one of these. That's going to be coming into my area pretty soon. Man, Oh, I just looked out my window for the first time in a while. It is raining pretty good out there. Wow. Okay. All right. Remember, there were also a couple of storms out here in south central Missouri near Lebanon that may be doing some gusty winds and small hail. Maybe some heavy rain as well as lightning. Consistent lightning, I would say. So look out for that one. That is not warned for anything, but we may get a special weather statement out of that if that continues to intensify, because it has gotten more intense over the last few scans, it looks like, at least since we last looked at it. So we do have a new radar scan here of this supercell, and the hail core is becoming much more messy and scattered, but that is still some large hail there. Again, that is close to the 1081 area there to the southwest of Spur, Texas. So look out for that. And Corey Gherkin's got a live look at this storm. He's got about 25 people watching right now. Unfortunately, I cannot show his stream for too long on here. So we're getting close to the 4:15 time frame. I think what we're actually going to do here is end off the stream here. If you're not familiar, what I kind of do in these kinds of events is go live for a little bit, you know, kind of watch the event start at the very beginning, and then come back later, at least once or twice, to see when things are actually more intense. So we're nowhere near done. This is the first of many severe warnings we're going to see this afternoon into this evening here down here in Texas. I can't say the first one of the day technically because we've had one in the UP of Michigan, but again, these storms in Texas are starting to fire off, so I will be back later if there is any significant severe weather that I do need to cover. So make sure that you are subscribing to the channel with notifications on, and I will see you all in